Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to Celeb Source, your source for celeb news. Now today we have, hey yo man, we got we got Boosie and his daughter, man, with the back and forth on the internet, man. It's kind of wild, man. We're gonna let you know a little bit about that. It's not really a back and forth, but you know, we just gonna talk about it. What else we got over here, man? We got inside the Diddy party, man, because we know you was dying to go. Cameron on the keys to the city, man. We also got Jay-Z and the Rockefeller situation with Dame Dash, man. We got that Young Miami Tia Kemp on deck, and we also got Jaguar Wright holding it down. Again, thanks for tuning in to Celeb Source Show. If this is your first time to the channel, be sure to hit that like button if you feel any part of the content. We definitely appreciate that. That notification bell is waiting for your task. We're going to give it a tap, and that subscribe button is waiting for your subscription, man. So go on to your check this out, man. Hopefully this plays, man. All right, this is I was just scrolling through the lobby of the gram, and Hennessy Hokaji apparently posted this. Now it might not play because, you know what I'm saying, the copyright and all this other stuff, but hopefully maybe 10 seconds is less than 10 seconds. Let's take a look at this joint real quick, posted by Hennessy Hokaji. Take a look.
Yeah.
Hey yo, that's facts, man. The purchase of baby oil will never be the same. I feel bad for everybody that got a newborn baby. Like, damn it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't even purchase baby oil in peace now, okay? Without having to look over my shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's get right to it with what Boosie got going on and his daughter Aviana. All right? Boosie's daughter Aviana went to the gram to speak about her relationship with her pops. All right? And this is in response to an interview that Boosie had on Revolt World or something like that, when he was being interviewed by Young Miami. All right? A statement was made by Boosie along the lines of, he didn't want his daughter Ivy, you know, like Poison Ivy. He didn't want his daughter Ivy contaminating her siblings in regards to the sexuality piece. Take a listen to this clip real quick.
So when your daughter came out and told you she was gay,
It was nothing. I mean, she still can't bring her situation to our house. My daughter is grown.
well, why? She's wrong.
Because I don't want it to contaminate her others. It's a generation we raising. I don't want her to get to contaminate it to her other 6, 7 sisters who look up to her. I want them to bring me grandchildren the right way.
Yeah, Boosie crazy.
If I want grandchildren the right way, that's what I'ma stand on. If I don't want my other little girl to look at that and say, what's that, daddy?
Contaminated.
To somebody she looks up to, it's not gonna come around. My grandpa didn't let it. My daddy didn't let it. And I didn't let it.
Oh, because you just took your daughter's car. Oh, you took her car. She said you took her car because she painted in pink. Well, you brought her car.
No.
She turned it black and you took her car.
No, I took her car because her mama sent her up there.
Hey look, didn't he introduce his son to sex with prostitutes, man? Hey, look, I'm gonna circle back to that. All right, listen. Her main issue, right, is that he went to the interwebs to speak on his relationship with her. I mean, you know, although he was asked, you like, but didn't she? Yeah. Look. Hey, all right, let her talk, okay? Take a listen to what Aviana now had to say about Boosie. Take a listen real quick.
You said you was a bad father because you not. You gonna make sure your kids straight. You always gonna do that. But emotionally, mentally, you suck. You suck, bruh. And I know you suck with that because you rather go to the internet and have a conversation with the internet about your kids before you come to us and have that conversation. I'm not finna get on here and disrespect my pops. I'm not finna get on here and go against the grain and go against my daddy. Nobody finna make me do that. But it's like, you making me do that. They not even making me do that. You making me do that. You steady speaking on me. You steady, like, I would respect if you just say, just one time, just say, my daughter know how I feel about that. Can we move on to the next question? So if the world really knew all the things and the hurtful things you told me before, and I forgave you, you wouldn't even understand. And no matter how you feel, at the end of the day, blood. I am your daughter.
So He said it in public. She's responding in public, right? And her response is, as a father, can you skillfully evade the question on my sexuality by sidestepping and say, can we move on to the next question? I mean, I don't necessarily think that her request is terrible, right? Because, I mean, maybe that's like something that's like an in-house debate type situation between those two, okay? Because that question to him about her is a conversation that she prefers he don't have in public. What she's saying, I don't think is terrible. Okay. But Boosie has always been very vocal about how he's not pleased with his daughter's sexuality, which has always been odd to me. Cause you know how like dudes, they don't want their children being, gay, but they don't mind their women being bi. You understand what I'm saying, man? Never mind all that. But like, that's besides the point. Listen, the ideology of homosexuality is being spoon-fed to our children, okay? Under the illusion that it is their identity. So when you speak about the act of homosexuality, those that practice the act think you're speaking on their identity. So they become defensive, shut down, or stop up their ears to any incoming truth. And our culture is so sick. They feed this ideology of sexual proclivity to our children when they're underage, okay? Like when they're young and they're easily impressionable. Our kids are trying to figure out their identity, right? And these mental and emotional child abusers tell our kids that their identity, which they're still trying to kind of figure out, is intertwined and part of their sexuality. Okay? You look, you speaking to kids about their sexuality and about sexuality, that shouldn't even be a topic when they trying to figure out like who am I and what am I, okay? Even Keys is down with what I'm talking about, okay? Look, let me indoctrinate this child early so it could be easier for me to engage in my own sick practices without the next generation telling me that there's something wrong with it, okay? Look. A lot of these folks, they can't reproduce biologically through their practice, so they got to reproduce through indoctrination and rely on the heterosexual's child, right? And getting them while they're young. What we said before. Revelation 12, the dragon positions himself in front of the woman who's ready to give birth to devour the child as soon as it's born. The principle being, and the practice telling us, that the devil loves to come for the children. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't know no better. Look, even Beetlejuice could have told you that. The Beetlejuice snake said, "We come for your daughter, Chuck." You know what I'm saying? Then he dropped dude. Listen, man, I don't care what the sexuality is. The child says it hurts when her pops speaks on it in front of the world. And that's not to say he can't express himself on a topic, because, I mean, she asked him about his thoughts, okay? But if his aim is for her to come out of that lifestyle, addressing it in public may actually dig her heels further in, okay? Now, is it possible that she could contaminate the other children? There's no law that says that she can't, okay? Look, if you would deceive, why couldn't you deceive others? That's the purpose of deception. If gambling could take you to hell and murder could take you to hell too, why would the devil try to waste his time trying to get you to murder when cards could do the trick? You understand what I'm saying? We don't have to do the whole murder thing, man. Pride could take you to hell and murder could too. But we can let pride handle this one, okay? It's easier. Listen, I know people, right, that are gay and they say, even though I'm in this lifestyle right now, I don't want to stay like this ultimately, okay? So a lot of them know. But I think it's possible that you could drink the alcohol so long that you embrace the deception and begin to think that it might actually be correct and make sense. You understand what I'm saying, man? See, that's what Romans 1 speaks on, all right? It speaks on people, Romans 1 in the scripture, speaks on people resisting God's law to the point where God removes his restraining hand and allows them to self-destruct. And they begin to do things that are self-destructive. Make no mistake about it. The only reason why we as human beings don't self-destruct or just, self-destruct is because it's the Most High that's keeping us from self-destructing. All right. Romans 1:26. God abandons people who willfully resist him, and they begin to do shameful acts with their bodies. Read it. Okay. When God abandons people, their behavior quickly descends into a type of madness, the kind of madness that knows what they're doing is wrong, and they approve of others who do it. You know what I'm saying? They probably even sing songs like Girls Like Girls where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man, entertainment industry is cooked. And I guess the culture's cooked too, right? But here's the thing, man. That's one form of contamination. But cyanide ain't the only poison, man. Okay? Teaching your son that he could have sexual intercourse with as many women as possible or with prostitutes, that's another form of poison, okay? You know how many prostitutes and dirty women, toxic women, okay, can contaminate your grandchildren with horrible DNA? You know what I mean? That you could bring in, that could be brought into your lineage by encouraging your son to have sexual relations with as many women as possible or prostitutes. The ideologies are still being fed into them, which will inevitably destroy them and corrupt your lineage. You follow what I'm saying, man? A lot of people are cursed. So you don't try to encourage your son to have intimate relations with as many of these cursed people as, a lot of women are cursed, right? I mean, I understand that you think like, guys can be potentially bad. Women are not that bad. A lot of women are cursed. I mean, a lot of men are cursed too. Don't get me wrong. Please don't get me wrong. Okay. But encouraging your sons to link up and have sexual relations with as many women as possible, you just heighten the probability that they're going to be stuck with someone who is cursed. Not bad. You know how I be going. Okay. By the way, look at how much fun you missed out on at these Diddy parties, okay? Take a look at these pics that we have. TMZ posted them. Look at these Diddy parties, man. I think it's the all-white parties or whatnot. Aren't you sad? Look, haven't you been left out of the fun club, man? You know what I'm saying? Where you get to listen to loud music, dance, kiss up on people you don't know, get drunk and high and walk and wake up with a brand new STD and your butt aching, right? I mean, don't you want a cold sore? Listen. Aren't you sad? Didn't you miss out? Let me tell you something, all right? There are people aching for the peace that you currently have, okay? They will pay for the boring peace that you have for free. Appreciate the boring peace God has placed in your life, okay? Because you could be ishing bricks right now, knowing damn well you'd crash out trying to explain to folks how you ain't get diddled at one of them parties. You follow what I'm saying, man? Why do you think so many people are so quiet? A lot of people are like, man, I'm not in it. I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, I might have been to a lot of people been to the party, but don't nobody want to talk about it. Look, last time we, the keys to the city. Last time we heard about somebody getting the keys to the city, it was Mayor Eric Adams. All right, he was giving the keys to the city to the diddler. That's right. He gave the diddler permission to come into the doors of your house and party. You know what I mean? Hey, look, imagine you applying lotion on your arms while you come out the bathroom and leaning back on your couch is Diddy. Talking about, yeah, daddy, I like it when you put on that lotion like that. You know what I'm saying? The stuff of nightmares. Anyway, Eric Adams gave the diddler the keys to the city. Then the diddler got raided. And then Eric Adams took the keys back after the Cassie video dropped, right? Well, and then last week, the mayor himself got a 57-page indictment, okay? But come to find out, they tried to give the keys of the city also to Cameron last month. Take a listen.
You know what's crazy? This is worth everything I love. Last month, they called me and said if I wanted the key to the city. I said, I don't want to be involved with nothing. They offered me that shit. They said, Cam, you want the key to the city? I said, that ain't really up my alley right now. I'm cool with the key to the New York City, man.
You want the key
Yo, word to blood. That's worth everything I love. Yo, Cam, you interested in the key city? I said, what does that get you?
Who, the mayor said that?
Mayor's office. I'm like, what does that get you? I don't want nothing to do with keys to the city, the niggas giving them out, the niggas who had previously had them. I don't got nothing to do with the key to the city. I don't got nothing to do with that. I actually got to go to New York this weekend for about 20 minutes.
Niggas is trying to stay out of New York.
Yeah, man, it's hot. Pause.
Yeah, gotta go, Coolio.
It's quiet, man.
Hey, look, man. I love Cam, man. You know what I'm saying? Bro don't even want to touch the key that the diddler touched. Look. Cam, they ain't asked you to get diddled, bro. They just want to give you the key, man. Well, look, they want to give to you what they gave to Puff. You like, well, if Puff touched it, I don't want it. Okay? I felt that though, real talk. You know what I mean? With all the action the diddler and the mayor got going on, y'all just handle that business over there and let's not worry about the keys right now, okay? The last thing we need are folks getting anything that looks symbolic to access into our houses, okay? Where we at over here? All right, look. When Cat Williams said what he said about things are about to come out into the open, bro wasn't playing. We done told you that Dame Dash and Jay-Z had the back and forth about Rockefeller and how Dame had to auction off his share of Rockefeller. Well, now the New York City Department of Social Services jumped in and looked at Jay-Z like, look, you ain't about to cough up our bag. Listen, Dame Dash has to make child support payments to 2 women, right? And the courts ordered bro to pay up. So Dame figures that he's going to auction off 1/3 of his shares of Rockefeller to make the necessary payments. Now, Dame also has a judgment of $823,000, and the child support payment, that's to the tune of $145K. All right. Now, the auction is part of is part of their court proceedings, but the Department of Social Services wants to be the first partaker of the fruit, and they want to recover the unpaid child support amounts, okay? The main thing on the Rockefeller table is Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt album, all right? But here's where it gets tricky. Jay-Z and co-founder Burke, right? They tried to block the auction by saying that the changes to Rockefeller's bylaws required their approval. The court rejected that because Dame's input was it should have been included in that situation. So Jay-Z did a spin move and tried to say he has a termination right under copyright law to take back ownership of Reasonable Doubt in 7 years. So whoever purchases it in the auction, they only got rights to Reasonable Doubt for 7 years. That's what Jay was saying. But the Department of Social Services threw a Molotov cocktail into Dame and Jay's scuffle and filed a motion saying Jay-Z's statements have poisoned the environment for the auction and Rockefeller by saying the rights of Reasonable Doubt will revert back to him. Rockefeller is entitled to a renewal term for 67 years. So Rockefeller owns the rights to renewal all the way up to the year 2098. So the auction price could technically be higher than what it is now. Now, the Department of Social Services went on to say that Jay-Z's statements are false and damaging to the city's interests, and that they can't get that money that they want from Dame from the auction. Translation is this, okay? The Department of Social Services is like, I don't care about that little back and forth y'all two got going on, okay? Jay, don't block Dame from getting his hands on my money. That's essentially what's going on. So the Russians, Department of Social Services, wants the money from Alonzo, Dame, and Jay-Z, Jake, is making it hard for Alonzo to get it. So in this story, the Russians don't just come for Alonzo head, but they're looking for Jake's ad too. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying, man? Because sometimes, every time I read a story with Jay-Z, I gotta like go back and reread it again. Because, you know, all that money stuff, I be getting lost. Anyway, look, is this my last story? Let me please tell me this is my last story, because I don't feel like it right now. All right, look. Tia Kemp. Wait, what's my time looking like? I feel like I'm doing well on time. Like, I could almost be done, bro. All right, look. Tia Kemp and Young Miami went on live to discuss toxic relationships, and Tia made some interesting statements about Rick Ross and what he is like behind closed doors, okay? That is, apart from the rap persona that we see. Take a listen to what she had to say.
And y'all be back fucking. That's what baby mama said, baby girl.
That's a bitch that don't want to see you do nothing in life. They want to have control over your life so you can depend on them. You don't, that's just the type of person he is. And I'm not that type of person. I want to see everybody win.
Hey, yo. She said to keep her from messing with other dudes, Ross would say mean things to lower her self-esteem, to keep her from embracing other men. Because, I guess the thought process would be he could tell her nice things, which would build her up, but running the risk that she could be empowered and leave. You know what I'm saying? Or he could say mean things to keep her down and dependent on him, which is something that we see in a lot of relationships. Look, you ever hear someone say, I can't tell him that because I don't want him to get the big head? The idea is you got low self-esteem. And that's why you can't tell him that, because you're afraid if he starts actually believing great things about himself, you think he might leave you for someone that's better than you. That's really what that translates to, okay? Let's make no mistake about it. That's what you mean when you say, I don't want him to get the big head, okay? Listen, the idea is this. It's possible that people can get the big head and start feeling themselves, all right? But the idea is this. If the person knows how incredible they are, it'll open his or her ears or their mind to the idea that they have options. And the more options your partner has, the higher the probability that you get knocked out the running. It's the classic, no matter what I say as a human, I still struggle with my own self-worth, okay? See, even money doesn't make the difference, man. Because regardless of your money, there's always a ninja richer than you. And the more money you make doesn't ensure your partner gonna stick around tighter anyway, okay? Think about it, man. Making more money might require you to be less emotionally available for your partner. And if your partner is emotionally needy, there's a higher probability that they're going to outsource the emotional connection that they desire. Are you understanding what I'm saying, man? And you so busy out there trying to make money. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, the broke ninja over there is available for your emotionally needy partner. Because, you know, men could be emotionally needy too, not just women. See, that's just a piece of the complication that is relationships. Now, of course, if the emotional availability is A1 from you and your partner is not too needy, you stand a chance, okay? But the person you're dealing with has to have an ability to remain solid just off of the fact that they have integrity. You understand what I'm saying? And self-control. Remember, more money does not make you a better person overall, and it does not ensure your relationships, okay? In fact, it could easily expose the cracks in the foundations of your relationships. A lot of people want partners with a lot of money, but they forget the fact that when people make a lot of money, that means they are really super focused on their job and not so much on you. So really, the only people that could, the only people that could not maintain, but the only people that can handle a lot of money in a relationship from their partner is someone that is not super emotionally needy, that has enough integrity to remain solid and does not need that outside validation from other people. But at the end of the day, almost all of us need some form of validation. And if your partner's never available because they always at work hustling, you know what I mean? Then you know what I'm saying? You look, they so busy on trying to hustle harder than you out there playing the field cheating. Let me go to my shout outs real quick. What we got over here, man? All right, look. Somebody said, Michelle said, Celeb, this week a person said in the comments to stop spreading the word. Since that comment, I've noticed more listeners have asked you to break the Bible down, okay? She said the enemy tried and failed. Keep spreading God's word. Oh, yeah, no doubt. No doubt. I feel like I kind of sort of noticed that too, though. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate the observation, and I appreciate those of y'all that appreciate our knowledge of the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? And us just breaking bread on the channel here, man. Because, you know, a lot of people, they come for one thing, and then they see that there's a little something else on it. There's a piece of seasoning, you know what I mean, in the hip-hop news, and they're like, oh, shoot, I didn't, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't looking for that. I wasn't expecting that, and I appreciate it. So, thank you for that, okay? Hero Creed. My man Hero Creed hit us off with the $2, man. You know what I'm saying? Much love for the $2. Real talk, okay? Anytime y'all give money, man, that means a lot to me, man. I really do appreciate that, okay? And you be like, yo, you always say that. Yeah, I always appreciate it every single time. It actually kind of sort of makes me like, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of blows my mind, real talk. So I appreciate that, Hero Creed. Thank you. King George said, I don't want to say his name. He's talking about the dude that murked Young Dolph. He said, I don't want to say his name. He's the biggest what? He the biggest jackass. You killed a man that did nothing to you, but you did nothing to the ones that stiffed you. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The people that jerked him they promised him $100K, only gave him $800. So they jerked him, but Young Dolph ain't hurt him or harm him. Okay? But that's what I'm saying. Those are the kind of people you can get to do jobs like that. Okay? G-Rod said, that makes sense, Celeb. They recruited people that had something to lose. Are those that went to those. So G-Rod is essentially saying that a lot of the labels, when they link up with you, they link up with somebody that they know they can eventually manipulate, to someone that got something to lose. I felt with that, what you're saying. And the legendary Tony Steele from Smith & Wesson. My man made a very insightful statement. Matter of fact, let me give a shout out to Zelda Johnson first, okay? Zelda Johnson hit us with $1.99. I do appreciate that. She said, thanks, love and blessings, Celeb Source. We appreciate you. I love you for this. And I thank you for showing support to the channel monetarily. Real talk, that does mean a lot, okay? Tony Steele, Smith & Wesson, okay? And I've always stated, and I still state, that it's one of my favorite hip-hop groups. I always said Mobb Deep, Smith & Wesson, Wu-Tang Clan, okay? if I could, I'm gonna slide in leaders of the new school. I'm sliding them into. Okay. Oh man, how can I forget Tribe Called Quest? My bad. I'll be going on for days if I do this. Okay. And shout out to Nice and Smooth. I've been listening to them on. Look, every single night almost for the past week. We've been playing that Nice and Smooth. But let's get back to it. Shout out to Black Sheep. Tony Steele said this. He said this one is heavy, fam, because we was talking yesterday about artists that are paid off by the labels to promote violent music. Okay. Now, as I said, man, I grew up on listening to Black Moon. Okay, that's my top number one group, Black Moon. That's my top of the group. Like you know what I'm saying? Black Moon. And then, of course, Smith & Wesson, because they all part of, Boot Camp Click, okay? OGC, Helter Skelter, you know what it is. But Tony Steele said, this one is heavy. He said, you can't blame the artist for being brainwashed. That's almost like blaming the animal for being tested on by the scientists. He said, true, there has been an assumed format that artists tend to veer to. Most artists want to be known for their skill and the work they put in. It's unfortunate that many artists are preyed upon by greedy, effed up mofos. He said, it's not yours or my fault that some folks have somehow perceived the work we do or have done is easy or invaluable. I was raised on a diverse selection of rap music, but I also had other genres to culture me due to my family and surroundings. See, I think this is true, okay? You notice how we say Black Moon, Smith & Wesson, we know the angle that they came from, right? But there was also a Tribe Called Quest. That's a completely different angle. A Black Sheep, a completely different angle. He's saying they had such a wide variety, they almost become the generation. This particular generation you grew up in is more cultured because they have more directions. You know what I'm saying? Which I understand. Now it seems like they only want to promote a particular type of agenda. But let me keep reading. Hopefully I understand what he was saying. He said, although music had a big influence on me, it never made me think murder was a cool option to achieve any of my goals. Unless, of course, it's an unavoidable situation, in which case, do your best and let God sort the rest. Without a doubt, I use the word murder as opposed to killing. Murder and killing are two totally different things. There are times when you have to kill as a human beings. Even the scriptures say that. There's a time to kill and there's a time not to kill. Okay? Murder is completely different. Murder involves malice. Murder involves I hate you and I don't like you and I want to harm you regardless of what you've done to me. Okay? That is murder. Okay? It's plotting and planning to kill someone because of hatred, as opposed to I'm in an unavoidable situation, they shooting at me, I gotta shoot back. That's completely different. But let me keep going. He said at some point the individual has to assume responsibility for their actions. He said, I'm tired of being blamed for and blaming others for my success or my failures. We need accountability. See, this is what I'm talking about, the A word that everybody's afraid of. He said a lot of rappers, young and old, ain't ish because as people, they ain't ish. But you can't come down on rap altogether. I feel you on that. He said, we need to uplift this culture like it did for us. You see, you stuttered a bit yesterday, Celeb, because it's a tough call. As an artist, I feel some responsibility for the message I put out there, but I also want the mature minds to understand some of this is just rap. Like my beloved brother Sean Price said, with rap, you could tell such amazing stories. Or tales, power up. Okay. Shout out to Tony Steele of the legendary Smith & Wesson. So here's my thoughts on this. Okay. Whenever I listen to Black Moon, Smith & Wesson, I never got the sense from them because it just never was in me, right? To be like a person that robs and steals or starts a problem with someone, murders for no reason type stuff. Not like what we see is being promoted in the music today. I understand the idea that, yo, man, we're not scared. See, when I listen to like I used to love listening to Mobb Deep and Black Moon and Wu-Tang Clan and stuff like that, right? But when I listen to these dudes, I didn't get the sense that these are people that are starting problems and starting trouble, okay? These are people that are like, yo, man, we just trying to have our peace and we don't want you to really, you know what I mean? As opposed to, you know what I'm saying? Like what King Von's was talking about. Or a lot of the artists of today that are talking about when they're saying that like they ready to rob you, they ready to steal from you, they ready to kill you because they're just better than you. You follow what I'm saying? Also, the idea that I think the culture, I forgot what period it was, but where the labels start to place more of an emphasis on, hey, let's rap more about murder and less about, and let's kind of push away what Tribe Called Quest is talking about. Let's push away what Public Enemy is talking about. See, I got to mention these older artists because there's not too many newer artists that are speaking on stuff like that. Okay. I mean, you got your Toby Nwigwe's out there. You have your D1s out there. You got your Lecrae's out there. But people want to classify them. Oh, a lot of these are gospel artists. Well, not just that. They're not just that. Okay. And maybe because they spit the gospel, but like what we talk about here, this ain't no gospel program. You follow what I'm saying, man? Although we have the gospel in it because that's just part of our life. My bad. I'm doing a lot of talking. Let's keep it rolling. But I understand what you're saying, Tony Steels. At least I think I do. Shout out to you, man. I do appreciate you coming through. I think there's a great level of humility as an artist, as an artist, to show up on a YouTube platform and voice his opinions. I appreciate that, man. Real talk. It means a lot. It really does mean a lot, especially considering he's one of my favorite hip hop duos. And finally, we're gonna wrap this one up with Jaguar Wright. Okay, end this video off with Jaguar Wright and what she had to say about the actions that surround your boy. Take a listen to this insanity.
Uptown Records started with 5 people: Andre Harrell, I'll Be Sure, Heavy D, and Puffy. And Kim is dead. Heavy D is dead. Andre Harrell is dead. The only 2 left are Puffy and Al almost died. Heavy D was found dead, face down in the heart attack. Andre Harrell, heart attack. Kim died from pneumonia, but there's the first coroner's report that said that she died. It was ruled a homicide and they found toxins in her body. Andre was writing a book right before he died. Heavy D was working on a book before he died. Kim Porter was working on a book before she died. And I'll Be Sure was working on the documentary of his life. And then he goes into a coma.
Now that is creepy, right? Ain't that a little bit creepy, man? Yeah, man. Like, I guess unless there's a lot of evidence that pops out, folks need to really start looking into. And that lady that got shot in the face, you know, with the Shine situation, if you look into the Shine story, that lady that got shot in the face, that she said, I know who had the firearm. It was the diddler. She said Diddy had the gun in his hand and he shot me in the face. That's what that lady said. I forgot her name. But she said the diddler shot her in the mouth. Let me go look up her name. I'm going to say lady that was shot by Diddy. She said it. She said the doctors was like, shh. Natanya Rubin? Yeah, she was the one at the club when the fight broke out. And she got shot in the face. Her name is Natanya Rubin. I think the feds, they really need to call her. Technically, she's an eyewitness. She's an eyewitness and a victim. How you see someone shoot you in the face as an eyewitness? The videotape go missing. Don't nobody know nothing. And she's telling you, she got the pieces in her face. Okay? And that's when I think J-Lo said, oh, Sean did it. And the whole 9 yards. That really needs to be looked into by the feds. I'm mad that they don't got the tape for that. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to like. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks for tuning in to Celeb Source, your source for celeb news.